Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We're back with You Know What, your most consistent show over the last 4 to 5 years. It is the Rumour Mill, everybody, and it's sharpening up. How you doing? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. As always, everybody, I'd just like to say a big thank you to all of the new subscribers at this moment in time. 41.4 and growing. And listen, it's every small little milestone, every 10, every 20, every 100 subscribers, I'm going to make a little bit of a shout out because it's great news. I'd like to shout out our sponsor for the channel as well, IPM Group, all of your CCTV and security needs. Keep it in the Leeds United community with Rick and the gang, all season ticket holders at Leeds United. First link in the description below. Football prizes as well, delivering you the best prizes in fan channel content, really. Ridiculous. Getting involved in a raffle, all that sort of good stuff. We've got a new sponsor on the way as well. And guys, I know I get a lot of messages in the comment section below as well asking about sponsors. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the channel, like to become part of the community, it's more than just a sort of monetary thing for me. It is a sort of, it's a vibe with sponsors. We go out on meals and all that good stuff. So make sure you get involved, and it's very nice friendship that gets built as well if you want that as well as helping and supporting the channel, which you can do on Patreon as well. Everybody shout out to all the new members over there. I can see a lot of regulars in the chat, nearly 400 of you on this impromptu morning. Hello, morning Sid, a new one on the Patreon as well. Morning mate, can you please give my daughter Zoe a shout out, please? It would make out her day. Zoe, your dad's a legend. Shout out to you. Yes, Tristan, Jamie, another Patreon. Nice to see a fellow Welshman in the chat. Morning, everybody. Martin's here as well. Morning, everybody. ITV to show championship matches. Wayne says waiting to get in. Waiting to get in like the queue for a woman's toilet. Yeah, shout out to you. Nigel's in the building. Morning, top man. Enjoyed the debrief last night with Ian. Yeah, guys, I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen it, go watch the debrief last night. It was a good one. Make sure you go after this show as well. Morning, Michael. Hello, everybody. So, okay, today we're speaking about some good bits, everybody. We're speaking about some intriguing bits. As always, I want your thoughts in the comment section below on the Rumour Mill. The Rumour Mill doesn't get anywhere without you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. These are all the rumours today. These are what we're going to be discussing. Let's get into it, shall we? So the first bit of news that we've been speaking about on the channel for a while now, a huge while when it comes to this GK. I don't want to get on it too much because, we got off last night, the debrief, and we'd really analysed Illan Meslier. We'd analysed certain Daniel Farke substitutions, solutions. And like I said, we kept giving that S word at the end of all the chat, and it was the solution. I don't want to come in here and be overtly negative and pessimistic. It's just on the back of what we saw at the weekend. It's that gut punch, isn't it? It's that feeling that we had after the Sunderland game. We need to get over that now. At some point, we need to talk about the proactiveness of Leeds United in finding a solution. And the solution feels like it's there in the form of a club abroad. Now, there is still ongoing rumours. Rennes have apparently, the Ligue club have apparently looked at several options. They haven't quite worked, and Rennes are still looking, despite his poor form, at Mr. Illan Meslier. According to the Daily Mail, Leeds would be open to selling the French shot stopper this month. Shot stopper. This month, his current form is said to be a concern for the club, which, I mean, it is the Daily Mail, but Daily Mail sometimes produce some words of thought, some words of wisdom, and I do think to myself, I'm hoping to myself, everybody, I'm really hoping that when it's a concern for the club, there's no way, and apparently, as I've mentioned to you guys the other day, I know not for a fact, but I'm sort of aware that they do still rate him at Ellen Road. Now, hopefully, with the comment here and what's going around at the ether at the minute that the club are slightly concerned, they might rate him to a certain level, but I'm hoping that if a bid came in over £5, no, I'm joking, over maybe sort of like 3, 4, 5 million quid, the club would consider it as much as they rate him, After a howler against Sunderland earlier on the season, Meslier was at fault for 2 late goals during the 3-3 Hull City draw last weekend, where the Whites let a 3-1 lead slip away late on, and reports are claiming that Ligue club Rennes are keen on a move for Meslier despite his disappointing form. Now, this is massive if this is true. If they feel, obviously he's a Frenchman, isn't he? We're very aware of that. Is his profile a little bit different over there? You'd expect so, in terms of maybe they think that they can improve him to a level of which he could be playing for the national team. I retweeted something on my Twitter the other day with Meslier talking about a year ago to the day about him getting into the French national side. So that is clearly his ambition. I think he's living in cloud cuckoo land right now to even be thinking about the French national team. But with competitions coming up, does he think his future is elsewhere? We know that when he was relegated with Leeds United, there was constant talk of him wanting to go to Chelsea. But the issue at Chelsea was, well, he's going to be playing second fiddle, of which he didn't want to do. And he said that he wanted to be playing as a starting number 1 GK in the Premier League. And it feels like the rumours that we've had over the past 3 years with Meslier have been recycled around Man United and Arsenal and City at one point. We did something on the rumour mill. Now, listen, if these clubs are still caught in Illan Meslier, wow. But I think his level is going to be lower. It's going to be lower by the clubs, being interested in him. But Rennes is still a fantastic move for him. And I'm absolutely begging that Rennes come in and do something. But listen, that would be a smart move for Leeds United. If we could even get a lower valuation for him, I'd cut my losses right now. When you see Michael Cooper go to Sheffield United for £2 million, you see Johansson go from Rotherham to Stoke City for £1 million. I'm thinking there is value out there. There is value for money. Let's get a couple of your comments. Is Si's become a new member? Shout out to you, Si, and thank you for the donation the other day, my friend. Keep getting your thoughts in the section below. I did, Craig. I did catch your super chat yesterday, mate. Thanks for that. My £2 donation. Why are the media pressers not asking Farke about Meslier's form? Have they been prevented on questions? What I will say, Craig, is he was asked about Illan Meslier's form the other day, and he sort of gave an answer of which I was going to put on the show today. He gave an answer of, I'm not going to come out here and have essentially a witch hunt for my goalkeeper. It doesn't have to be a witch hunt, but I think you do have to specify and you do have to address it. Because I know it was from a positive light when he was speaking about Rutter and he was speaking about his fancy skills last season. And essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, but getting rid of those in certain occasions post the match where Rutter was absolutely excellent. He came out and said that about Rutter in that game. He's come out and spoken about Somerville before, come out and spoken about Ramazani before in sort of negative lights after decent performances, I felt. But he won't come out and say anything about Illan Meslier and just say, look, he's had a few mistakes. He needs to improve. He knows he needs to improve. He just won't speak about him. And maybe that's because Daniel Farke has persisted with Illan Meslier and he doesn't want to be wrong in this occasion. I've no idea, but it is quite bizarre. Solution, we need a keeper and a Chapman type of striker. Their new goalkeeper needs to be, the new goalkeeper needs to be a good shot stopper. Wayne, shout out to you, Wayne. 500 likes on this video and Connor's crew will stop applying the grease to Meslier's gloves. Yes, mate, 100%. Smash a like, everybody. But yeah, keep getting your thoughts in the section below, everybody. Meslier to go out on loan. Gav's in the building. No way Farke ruins Meslier's confidence by pointing out only his mistakes. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Okay, so yeah, you change your settings, Connor. I can finally chat without paying a super chat. No, you should be subscribed to the channel, mate, to be doing that. But yeah, okay. So yeah, Bamford out as well, everybody. This is just a reoccurring theme right now. We know this, and it is just Patrick Bamford leaving the club. But there's been a lot more movement in the striker department as well, which we're going to get onto when it comes to another striker at Leeds United. So yeah, that's the sort of big look ahead today. That reports are claiming that Ligue and Club Rennes are keen on a move still, which is massive, absolutely massive news. Now, there's something else that I wanted to talk about this morning. It is on a striker, and this is more a conversation. We like to do this on the room. I don't just want to sit here and go, so-and-so is linked to so-and-so. So-and-so is linked to so-and-so. So-and-so is linked to so-and-so. It's boring. It's not engaging. It's not interactive. You guys can't get involved in it. It's boring. And I find stuff like that to watch not entertaining at all. So I want to get onto something about Matteo Joseph. And it is a Twitter account the other day that I follow. I think is very, very good. Lou Orns. He's a Watford fan. He tweets a lot of sense. And he's constantly been bandwagoning Matteo Joseph. And he put something in the ether the other night, using that word a lot in this stream, of Matteo Joseph being someone who he wants his team Watford to target in this window. Now, this is interesting because we have right now, I would say over 50% of the fan base saying that Joseph isn't good enough. He's not good enough. He can't cut it, blah, 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 blah. Even though it's his first season, I think there's a lot of context to be applied. I think a lot of people in our fan base think that if you're not just getting goals every single game, or if you're not getting goals every two-ish games, you're a bad footballer. I don't subscribe to that notion. I don't think that is the case. I think Joseph, the team isn't fitting Matteo Joseph right now, and I'm going to get into that right now. We know he's a quick, sharp, dynamic striker. I think recently, I think when he's actually come on, the Blackburn penalty, the Borough goal, the Preston North End goal, I think he's forced mistakes from the opposition side, and I think that's the problem about him being on the pitch and linking to his attributes that I just spoke about then. I actually think that Jorginho Rutter, I was watching a lot of the pre-season goals a little bit earlier on to just get a bit of fact-finding about this and to look at the kind of goals that he was scoring. Rutter hitting the byline and absolutely smashing those balls in with either his right and left foot is what he is massively missing, and what he was all over in pre-season. And I do wonder, it brings me back to the conversation of when it comes back to Daniel Farke, would he risk losing Matteo Joseph? So this is what the comment was yesterday. If Watford want a striker, I'd be going straight to Leeds for Matteo Joseph for a loan until the end of the season. Whether they'd let him leave is another question, but he's too good to be sitting on the bench. Another Delap Parrot type 9 that is waiting to explode. And I thought the comment back here by Henry was interesting, a Leeds fan, of course. Joseph is a great poacher. If you have wingers that beat their man and cut the ball back into the box, then you'll get the best out of him. He isn't the most physical player, but his movement and determination is brilliant. Luke then responded to him and said, it's all we do, play through balls and get balls into the box. Bar constantly whips it in, and Georgie is a creative demon. We just need a speedy box finisher. So this is kind of the thing that I've been harping on about throughout the whole season, really. You need to fashion chances for Matteo Joseph. You need to hit that front post. If you look at the games against Valencia and Schalke in particular, Rutter was massive at doing this because he'd hit the byline consistently and look at smashing those balls in across the box. And back post, I think he scored against Schalke. But the front post against Valencia, he was all over it. I mean, his goal was fashioned by himself, to be honest with you, in terms of just taking it around the Valencia man and firing it into the bottom corner. But I'm just looking at pre-season in regards to Jorginho Rutter being massive in the build-up. And obviously he left for Brighton not long afterwards. But Rutter was very, very good at finding that right back, finding that left back and getting into those pockets and playing those 1-2s, and Leeds hitting the byline so much more in pre-season. And Joseph was everywhere. He could have scored 8 goals in pre-season. So you do wonder whether or not the build-up is facilitated to help him. And I don't think right now it is. So I think a move to somewhere like Watford, where they hit the byline and they're looking at putting those quick balls in. That's why I kind of loved Verba being out there at the weekend. It's that left-footed notion of just getting the ball out of your feet. You can't beat a man for pace. Verba can't do that, but you whip the ball into the box. Not great defensively, but I actually thought Verba getting forward at the weekend, quick balls into the box. And those quick balls into the box around the near post, around the back post as well, but especially that near post run for someone like Matteo Joseph would be excellent. But with Georgie getting out there as well for Watford, Shad Fakadze getting the ball out there, looking to whip the ball in straight away, and Bart and Joseph in there, it's all about sharp, instinctive movement. And I genuinely don't think we're facilitating this with Joseph at all. We are not at all for me. And I think Rutter is a massive miss in that. But I don't think we will let him go right now, because I think the manager and potentially the 49ers, but more of the manager, knows that he would. I believe in the right system, where they're facilitating what we were facilitating in pre-season. I think he'd explode. I think he'd do really, really well at this level. But so I don't think Leeds will let him go. But I'm really interested to know what you guys think in the chat. And if you're watching this post, let me know what you think. I'm just going to put it in the chat here. And I want you to let me know. Make sure you're liking the video as well, everybody. But I want you to let me know, would you let Matteo Joseph go, or would you keep him? Joseph, okay, in the chat, go on loan, by the way, right now. Go on loan or stay at LUFC. So listen, let me know what you think in the chat. We'll get up the results. Obviously, we normally get about 200, 300 of you getting your thoughts in there, but I'm going to read out a few comments as well on that. But I think it's a really interesting conversation. Nobody's wrong in this, but I personally think that it would be a massive, massive miss for Leeds to do that. I don't think we will, but it's an interesting conversation. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But Snoop says, hey, Connor, we need 2 keepers. If Darlow can't push Meslier, then there's something wrong and both need to go. Blaze says, no, don't send him on loan. Unless you're getting rid. Roland says, agree on both points, Joseph and Verba. Said on Match Reaction that there was a few cutbacks into the box that we would have Joseph on the end of them. Let's have a look. Keep getting your thoughts in the second. Remy says, if Joffy and Bamford leave, I'd go for Dor Turgeman. Physical, skillful, and cheap would grow with us in the Premier League. Wayne says, I am sick of reading and hearing about these supposedly transfers, especially ones that don't exist or have any concrete facts. I'd rather hear about transfers after we've been completed. Wayne, why are you tuning into the rumour mill then? That doesn't make any sense, Wayne. It's not the confirmation mill. Matteo Joseph has potential, but isn't quite good enough, in my opinion. Works hard, but isn't enough. Finishing and decision making isn't great, but can improve. 2 in 26. Yeah. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Not mentioning any context with that, Justin, in terms of even just starts. Just 2 in 26. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So let's let him out, and I will be here if they did let him go. I will be here, Justin, on your neck, mate, if he starts scoring. Connor, how about Bettinelli on loan until the end of the season? Chelsea number 3. Alfonso, it's definitely a conversation. I'm looking at Premier League loanees when it comes to goalkeepers as well, mate. You go and have a look at how many Premier League loanees as a GK would be available. It's staggering, but you can actually go and get a permanent. We spoke about it on yesterday's video. There is so many. There is so many. And yeah, rumour mill gives us hope. Andrew, not only that, but we all know on the rumour mill, mate, that it is a little bit more of discussion, and that's what we enjoy in this show. We can't loan out Joseph until unless we get another striker in. Jack says no one with his pressing and explosive abilities. Yeah, definitely. Richard says, I think you are right about Rutter being a huge help to how well Joseph played in pre-season. If Joseph leads, then we probably need a replacement, and that is unlikely. Yeah, and that's what I would go and have a look at, guys. If you're bothered, if you're interested, just go and have a look at Rutter's influence at the beginning of the season. He was so massive in that pre-season, obviously getting goals, but curating chances as well, and facilitating a lot of what Joseph thrives on. 78% of you in the chat have said that you'd rather him stay at Leeds, and the rest have said loan. So shout out to you guys who've said he wants to go on. You'd rather him go on loan, and vice versa. So yeah, Blaise says, remember all, we let Leaf go. Look at him now. So interesting, very, very interesting point. Tornqvist is a Swedish goalkeeper, and we spoke about him. He's the Mjällby goalkeeper, and we spoke about him around about a week ago. Daniel Farke's side have scouted the goalkeeper on several occasions this season and view him as a target for the January transfer window. Although there's no evidence of an offer yet, it's been set at around £1 million. What is interesting is the fact that Leeds is interested in Tornqvist. He's not new, as they were linked with him over a year ago, which we did speak about on the channel. It emerged in October 23 that Leeds are keeping tabs on Mjällby shot stopper. I think it's pretty obvious from what we're hearing right now, the fact, obviously the Daily Mail can be the Daily Mail. We all know that. But the fact that they've reported on Leeds potentially looking at just getting rid of Illan Meslier, I think it's obvious right now. And if they're not doing it right now, the club is just negligent, just quite simply, unless they're looking to start Carl Darlow, who we have said multiple times on the channel isn't a world beater, but is he better than bomb scare between the sticks? I would say so, yes. And keep with us, by the way, everyone, till the end of the video, where we're going to speak about some positives going forward of Leeds United. And this is a positive. It's a solution. It's a goalkeeper coming in, replacing the one right now who is a serious, problematic goalkeeper, who would probably be in the bottom 3 goalkeepers in the division if he had a poor defense and poor midfield. Fact. Well, kind of not really fact, but that's how I feel anyway. But yeah, like I think Tornqvist coming in, as you can see in the latest news bracket just below, Melee replacement. The big indication here for me when we're looking at that is I want you to look at, and Angus Kinnear apparently has been peddling this one. The price has been set at around £1 million. That's all it costs. It genuinely is all it costs. I think if we went and got Rushworth from Brighton, that would be a loan. But I think if we actually went in for a permanent, it wouldn't be expensive. You look at even Johansson right now at Stoke. What would Stoke set? It's a championship club who, need to generate revenue a lot. He's one of their prized assets right now, of course, but it wouldn't be a hell of a lot of money. And as I keep mentioning, you look at Michael Cooper and what Sheffield United went out and did and getting him for £2 million. It's not that much. It's really not that much. And as I've said, now we'll continue to say this on the Room Mill and every single show that I do going forward. It is negligence if Leeds don't go and get a goalkeeper or pursue with Carl Darlow now going forward in this division, in my opinion. Keeping your thoughts in, everybody. Down Under says Tornqvist is a big lad, 6'6", 22 years old. Get the big Viking in and the French breadstick out. Yeah, definitely, potentially. Everton want Villagine from Villa. How does that mean Harrison will return? Ronnie, that basically means that Harrison can return if they cancel his loan, which apparently is something that they can do at Everton. We spoke about this last week. With the decent left back and Solomon, the balls get whipped in. That's exactly right, JB. And if you put in these balls in, I have to say, everybody, and I get this is subjective, completely understand that, but I do hate the real throwaway notion of, yeah, get rid of him. I really hate that for young players. I remember it with Rutter, and it is quite funny because you do see the very, very similar names because a lot of them still come on the channel, but there's a lot of similar names who, when Rutter was with us in the Prem, were coming on here saying, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. And on the channel, if you've been with me for a long time, I do try stick by the youngsters a lot. I do try stick by them because they've got to be given a chance. I've done it with Archie. I've done it with Gelhardt. I even did it with Greenwood for a period of time. And then by the end of it, you could just tell he wasn't good enough. Even Meslier at the beginning. Even at the beginning, I was giving him a few plaudits. But there are numerous other examples. Yeld have been another one who I wanted us to stick with. Obviously now at Sunderland on the bench. But I just think with youngsters, you've got to give them a bit of time. The thing with Matteo is it's his first season. It's his first season. And I just think that he's going to develop way more. You've already seen him filled out. And I just think if we actually, we've all spoken about problems with certain players in this side and the systematic differences that, you know, other players profit from and other players don't profit from in this, in the Daniel Farke way. I think early balls into the box and whipped in. I think this guy, as we saw in pre-season, with certain personnel in that side, is going to massively benefit from that, hugely benefit from that. And I don't see how just getting rid of him, because you just look at a blanket thing of the amount of goals he's scored for a young player. We see the promise there, the difference he makes. As I've said, it's not like he's doing nothing in games. Blackburn penalty, Borough and Preston North End impact that he made, which basically would mean that we don't go 1-0 up against Borough and that we don't get back into the game against Preston. We don't win the game against Blackburn without Joseph. And I just think these whip balls in, I think Leeds systematically, if we cater to Joseph a little bit more, it's going to bring the best out of him. And surely we want that. Surely we want that instead of just saying, get rid of him. He's not good enough. It's such a throwaway comment with no effort, I feel anyway. I get football subjective, but I think, you know, I need more than that to just to agree with the people who are saying those sorts of things. I need more than that. Why are we not offloading Bamford? Jan says, regards to Harrison, you would think Leeds have put a cancellation fee in like Spurs did with Spence. Yeah, definitely. FGT says, the 9 situation worked the best in the start of the season when Joseph started stringing games with Peru coming off the bench, scoring 6 goals. Yeah, I agree. That was the best, 100% for me. Let's have a look at what you guys are saying. Martin says, for me, it's Farke's fault for not starting Joseph consistently. Let him do the donkey work and bring Pro later on to score goals. Like I said, the context behind that is just the fact that let's just cater towards him and Joseph will score a few more goals. Let's just do that. And if we do that, then Leeds are going to be profited overall, aren't we? Okay, so let's get into a few more bits going forward, everybody. It's interesting, that discussion point as well. And we'll get into a few more as well. So this dude, Mergin Berisha, has been linked with Leeds United. 1 goal and 1 assist in 11, 7 million quid. And he's playing in the German league, obviously the Hoffenheim striker. Now, this is obviously going to continuously happen with Leeds United and the German league, I feel, because Daniel Farke is going to be linked consistently with that league. And to be fair to him, he's brought a lot of his stars in from that division when it comes to like previously with like, I believe it was Zimmerman and Stiepermann, I think came from Paderborn as well. And obviously he's done it previously with players that he's been with now at Leeds United, formerly of, you know, they've played in the Bundesliga or, you know, Norwich, we've been targeted with or brought in. But I just think it's one of those with Leeds where a striker really isn't needed. I think a lot of it, as I keep mentioning, us catering to certain individuals' needs, I think helps Leeds. I don't think we need a striker. I don't think Berisha will come into Leeds United, but it is interesting when we just move on to the next topic. So Berisha's been linked. Now, according to my old workmate, Baz Cooper, and guys, we are going to be live tonight, and I have sent Baz a message. This is the guy who reported the news that Hull City are essentially in talks with Joe Gelhardt this morning. I have messaged Baz. We'll wait and see if Baz gets back. He might come on the show. But yeah, Baz Cooper was saying this morning, he reports on Hull City that Hull City are essentially in talks with Leeds United and for the Hull City, Leeds United are in talks for Joe Gelhardt. So good move for Joe. Probably won't have to move. I think, you know, he'd thrive somewhere like that. And I hope he does. I think Joe Gelhardt, the time is now for him to move on. And that's all we can talk about when it comes to Joe. It's not worked for him at Leeds United. I don't think it'll continue to work for him at Leeds United. It's just not going to happen. And I'm happy for him. I hope that he moves on. I hope that he thrives. But then it does paint the picture of what's going on with Leeds. Does that mean that we can bring another striker in? We've just spoken about Berisha there. Does that mean we can bring someone like him in? I don't see it. I don't see it. But when you've got Patrick Bamford on the bench, I think Farke still sees him as a worthwhile player. I genuinely believe that. And a lot of Leeds fans do. A lot of Leeds fans still see him as a contributor in this side. You know, when he came in for Leeds last season, he wasn't terrible. He wasn't terrible for Leeds. But then it kind of got to the old stages of Patrick Bamford toward the back end of his span at Leeds, where we couldn't really rely on him. But overall, he was okay. But I'm not changing my tune on Patrick Bamford. Patrick Bamford shouldn't be at Leeds United right now, but he has a contract. So I don't see what happens there. This is why it's another reason why Leeds just won't. I'd be stunned if we brought another body in. It's not, I don't think we should anyway. I think Peru and I think Joseph for sustenance. But if Bamford's to move on, will we do something? Gelhardt, I think, will move on. Will move on, which will take us to 3. But then I just don't see any chance in us doing anything else there. I don't really see that happening with the wages he's on, with people coming in for him. I don't see it. Wayne says Liverpool, Wigan, Leeds, Hull. Is Joffrey just working his way along the M62? Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. The Berisha rumours have been rubbish this morning. Yeah, I've seen that as well, mate. Have been rubbish from Popey. Yeah, as I say, I just don't see this happening. Sai says, in my humble opinion, losing Meslier, liability and Bamford wages would be akin to signing a top player. Could be right, Sai. Could be right. Okay, everybody. So let's get into. I want to speak really about a bit of the end game as well for Leeds United. I wanted to speak on the trump card. Okay, so you look at the table there, right? I want you all to look at the table. How we've been speaking on the channel over the past 3 or 4 days, it's not bothered me as such, but it kind of has. And later on, we're doing a stream with Benjamin Bloom, and I think it's going to be fantastic, guys. Join me from 6. It's going to be a really good show. I enjoy doing stuff with Ben a lot. I think he's a fantastic content creator, and I've got a lot of respect for him. And he's one of the rare ones. I don't really watch Leeds YouTubers. I do every now and again, but I don't really watch general content. I'll be honest with you guys. When I do this, I'll listen to a couple of podcasts and then I'll watch a bit of MMA bits. That's my life when it comes to YouTube. And I read World Soccer and 442 magazine every week. So yeah, that's what I do. My bedtime reading. So that's kind of the content that I take in. But Ben is one of the ones that I watch. I think he's very, very good, and he's going to be on the channel a little bit later on. But when it comes to the Farke trump card to help promotion at the bottom there, that's something that I wanted to speak on this morning. I think we need to turn this bad mood into something good. I think we need to turn it into something good. Meslier has put us all into the abyss, but the team overall were crap against Hull. Were they good enough against Blackburn? We all gave them excuses, including me. Were they good against Blackburn? Oh, it's our bogey team, blah, 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 blah. But Burnley have just beaten them, and Sheffield United have beaten them as well, both away from home without Blackburn scoring a goal. You know, we've struggled to beat them now. You know, we've not beaten John Eustace in the last 4 attempts. So the overarching point here is, everybody, the last 2 games just haven't been good enough. Leeds were 3-1 up, but there was a lot of Hull City mistakes there. You look at that 3rd goal. They passed it to Joel Peru. Our execution wasn't good enough up front. The midfield wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough the other day. Tanaka and Rothwell. I know Tanaka got his goal, but I didn't think he was great the other day. Rothwell was a bit anonymous. They didn't do a good job in protecting that back 4. Verba wasn't great. I don't think Rodon and Ampadu were good at all. And then you look at the goalkeeper, but we focused on the goalkeeper so much that we forgot the failings of the rest of the 10, which were not good the other day. You know, Peru, apart from his goal, was completely anonymous in the game against a very poor Hull City side. But then was he getting the service? I wouldn't say he was. And Leeds missed chances. So it's not been a good last 2 games. But I wanted to provide a bit of a sandwich here. It is not just Leeds United doing what Leeds United are doing, but it's saying to you guys that there have been down moments in the past 2 games. But have a quick look at this, okay? Have a quick look at this. So, on the 22nd of December, Leeds was 2nd, a point ahead of Burnley, don't get me wrong. Goal difference 26. Sheffield United were top by 3 points, or according to Sheffield United fans, that was 5 points because they're 2 points ahead now with those points docked, but apparently they shouldn't have been docked. So that's where they were at, okay? Leeds now sit top of the division, still. Even with the fumblings that we've had, as you can see on the screen right now, we still sit top. You've increased a lot since that point. The goal difference is still very healthy, still better than the rest. Don't get me wrong, the gap has closed. But when you just look at this here, 2 points ahead of Sunderland there, 1 point ahead of Burnley, 3 points behind Sheffield United. Okay. And Sheffield United with some games of which I thought they'd pick up a fair few points in. Okay. Now we're looking at proceedings where Leeds United, for me, are still, even when we've been getting bantered by all of our friends, ha ha ha, look at Leeds are falling apart again, blah, blah, blah. And we've all had a bit of a cry about what happened at the weekend because it shouldn't have happened with a team like we are and what happened against 22nd in the division. But look where we are. Still top of the table with Sheffield Wednesday coming up, a winnable game. Okay? Then Norwich coming up, winnable game. Right? So the picture can all change again. Of course it can. But right now, you look at the team in third and you look at the team in first. We were 3 points behind them on the what date were we on? The 22nd of December, just before Christmas. So it's not that bad, really, when you look at it. And let's have a quick look at the fixtures. Okay, the game weeks here. Burnley coming up against Sunderland next. One of them's going to drop points. Sheffield United against Norwich. Okay, Leeds against Sheffield Wednesday. And you look at that next game week as well. We welcome Norwich. Sheffield United go to Swansea. Burnley, I think we're on the next page. But the overarching point here is, everybody, and I think we need to focus on this as a fan base. It's not all doom and gloom. It really isn't. We're top of the table. But you kind of have to be reactionary on these things to what's gone on. And it was not good enough at the weekend. And it's not been good enough against Blackburn either. You have to manage games better. And we're not now turning the page and saying, oh, it's all fine, because it's not fine. But what is looking fine is that table right now. Goal difference still superior. Okay? We've still scored the most goals in the division. Yeah? And statistically, we've got more points than everybody. Okay? So tomorrow, I'm going to be on here, and there'll be a certain man called Jimmy, and we're going to be doing battle lines, right? And Jimmy's going to come on here, and I know what's going to happen. Jimmy's going to banter me as a Sheffield United fan. Okay? But on the 22nd of December, we were behind them, 3 points behind, and I thought they had a couple of games of which they were going to win. A couple of home games, I was thinking, Right now, we're top of the pile, okay? Yes, a point ahead, but we've not had a good week. But we've got the opportunity right now. Obviously, we've got Harrogate, but we've got the opportunity right now to be right back where we were in terms of form. Things have got to change, but do we have the options to change? Of course we do. Carl Darlow, player of the year at Hull City, 18 months ago, can come in for Illan Meslier, and we don't lose anything. Literally don't. Rotation with the front line can happen. We've got the options. Depth in the squad, 100%. And if they want to do something, if they don't want Carl Darlow, go and get someone else for cheap value. Go get someone on loan. Available right now. I can list off 10 goalkeepers of which we can go after right now. If you want me to do that for a video, I can do that for a video. Let me know in the comment section below. But Leeds United are not in a bad spot. We've had a bump. Other teams have had bumps, but we've still not lost. Okay? Blackburn, we've not managed the game well. Hull City, we've managed the game appallingly. But can we change these negatives right now, even within the squad? We can. You know, you want to give Aaronson a rest, Nonso, Solomon. You want to give James a rest, Nonso. Ramzani's even played on the right before, but Nonso. Okay? You can even change formation if you want. Strout's going to be back soon. Put Strout centre back, get Ampadu in the midfield. Options. Left back, we've still got Isaac Schmidt, who I think every time I've seen him looks good. Looks good on the ball. I know people say he's a winger. Okay, let's put him left back, see how he does. Okay, I can't imagine this division is going to be too hard for him. Verber's done all right at left back in this division, and he's just been thrown in there against Blackburn and Hull City, and he's been okay. So I can't imagine Isaac Schmidt would struggle, especially when he's technically better on the ball than Sam Byram. Defensively, okay, but I think in this division he'd be okay, in my opinion. But we've got options there. Leeds can enact change all over the pitch. Still with a small squad of 24, which is small in comparison to the rest of the squad. With a good age with this squad, 25 years of age, should have enough experience from last season, and in general with the likes of Gilavogi and others to get through this phase. And let's see where we're at. Let's have a couple of chats in the comment section below. Let me know, people. Dan says, I think your old man got it right last night, Connor. We should stay way clear, but the coaching and management have got a few things wrong. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Big up the Bloom top man, indeed, mate. Indeed. Jimmy, you best behave yourself. Best behave yourself, fella. 100%, mate. 100% he will. He better do. Got to play Ramazani. He's our best player when match fit. I agree. And I'd rather see a winger than a fullback. Right, everybody. Listen, So positives at the end there. Positives at the end for me. And positives when it comes to Leeds United. I don't think it's all negative. I think Leeds can enact change. But look at the table. Not all bad, is it? Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Come join me tonight at 6 o'clock with Benjamin Bloom when we're going to be going through the promotion campaign. We're going to be going up against, we're going to be looking at Leeds' rivals. We're going to be looking at all the little fine prints, what Leeds do in the transfer market, if we need to do anything in the transfer market, where we're projected to finish at the end of the season, the dangers for Leeds, the dangers for other teams, the fixtures coming up. Really excited to see you guys later on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your comments in the section below, as always, everybody. I'll see you every morning and most evenings this week on the One Leeds Fan channel. Cheers, guys.